5-hour energy guy.
Right. Balls not falling off. Penis still working normally. Hello, friends. Welcome to another most excellent episode of User Friendly. I'm your co-host, Arafan Elijah. I'm a writer for cultomac.com. I do the other podcast, Cultcast. And I'm also the owner of MightTees.com, where we sell cool indie graphic tees. I'm here with my friend
Roberto Hoyos, Person of the Year, People Magazine.
That's true.
Sexiest man alive.
That's also, well, second sexiest.
And I own a company called Throwboy. We make pillows and these really crazy, cool ICEO dolls.
It's weird actually being able to talk about that now because we kept it secret for so long.
Yeah.
In any case, User Friendly is our weekly podcast done in video, where we talk about our favorite tech, all things geek, and our favorite stuff from the internet.
That's right.
Cheers, my friend. Clink.
Thank you for tuning in. Today we have a really big shoe.
We have a huge shoe for you. It's safe to say that this episode is fully torqued.
Fully torqued, yeah. See, what size? You wear like one up to here, right?
Yeah, I wear a size 20. There's no water ski that I need to wear. So actually, I have really giant feet.
People that want to see the...
Yeah, for people that want to see a totally out of focus foot, here it is. So,
are you wearing pants?
When I was in junior high, and I'm not wearing pants, so I can show you the other thing I have that's huge. When I was in junior high, I started growing, right, like everyone does, and my feet got huge. I wear a size 12. Yeah. And everyone in my family was like, "You're gonna be a tall one, right?" And then I peaked at about 5'10", yeah. But I kept the giant big feet. So it's actually not bad because
you trip on them sometimes, right?
I don't actually. I'm very graceful. I don't ever trip. But yeah, it's great when you're trying to find shoes because there's always size 12s left.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Okay.
They don't make them that big. It's like 12 and they usually top out 11 and then 12s are kind of hard to find.
Well, so how have you been, man?
I have been well.
Good.
Dude, it's been a really busy week.
Yeah.
Really busy week, and I've been playing a lot of this game, actually.
Black Ops?
Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, right. I saw you playing that on Xbox.
Yeah, I've been playing it a lot, because it's a great time to be an Xbox owner. Let me just tell you. Because Borderlands 2 comes out next month, which I just pre-ordered. And then...
is that why you're playing that?
That's why I'm playing that. So I'm trying to get through it before the next game comes out. Because I've actually never got around to playing this game, and it won all sorts of awards. And so far, I love it. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. And then come November, we have Modern Warfare 3. I'm sorry, not Modern Warfare 3. Black Ops 2.
Those are two totally different games, right?
Well, they're similar genres of shooters.
It's funny how you always mistake them. So I think that they're the same game.
You mean I think Borderlands or Modern Warfare 3?
I keep thinking it's called Modern Warfare 3 Black Ops 2. First Blood Part 3.
Game.
It's like, because you keep always saying
I know, I always say it. It's confusing because
Call of Duty 3.
They're all Call of Duties. And then each year they release, a different game studio releases a different Call of Duty
Oh, they're
game.
all Call of Duties?
Yes, they're all Call of Duties. So they're all the same franchise. They just have different versions of the game every year so they can make $1 zillion.
Ah. Well, cool.
Yeah, what about you, man? Just working day and night, night and day.
Yeah, and recording myself a lot.
Dude, are you gonna be happy to be done with that?
I think so, but the thing is, like, people really like it. Like, people love your vlogs. Oh, hey, I'm watching your vlogs. Oh, like, and it's like, well, I didn't even know because people usually just like them, or I get a little bit of comment action, but I don't know. I kind of like documenting things, Like, I kind of like the idea of it's sort of like a behind the scenes, but I don't know if I like the whole I need to remember to bring my camera everywhere I go, and have to like do a little piece here and there. I can't imagine these people that make a living out of doing a vlog every single day and uploading it every day. Like, you must think in video form all the time,
Yeah.
You must always be thinking about that. Or like Chris Perillo, how he would always do live streaming. Now he does daily vlogs, but even live streaming, I remember I do that sometimes. I do that every Sunday. And I would be, afterwards, I'd be like, okay, I still feel like I'm being watched. Let me turn everything off, I don't like that, but But no, I mean, it's kind of a little fun experiment. I like challenging myself here and there for days at a time.
Yeah,
but I've been busy as hell because I've been shipping dolls all the time. You know.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, all
So-
the ICEOs are going out.
So some of my vlogs are like, "Yep, still doing this, not leaving the house, just
When do
doing
you
this."
think that you'll be done? How many weeks? How many days do you think it'll be before you finally finish shipping out all those out?
I don't know, dude. I mean, like, we calculated it would be something like 10 days or something like that if I just worked like 7 or 8 hours a day, like nonstop.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I don't know. It probably will stretch out to the end of the month. I would think. It just has a lot of preparation. You know, like I have to take them out of their bags, put the glasses on them. All these little details that take a little bit of time here and there.
Yeah, I guess it's not just toss them in a box and ship them.
Yeah, but people are loving them, and now we're finally getting like tweets about them and Instagram photos and unboxing. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because, I mean, no one even knew anything about them. They bought them sight unseen. Well, I guess they saw pictures of them. And now they're actually getting them in the mail.
And
for a lot of people, they're probably like, I didn't think I was ever going to get this.
Yeah, but they're actually really stoked about it, too. Like, I think that they're like, whoa, you guys did, like, better than I thought it would be, you know?
Like, it turned out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've seen them in person, obviously, and they look great.
So,
It's
been good.
Let's move on to the show,
Yes,
huh?
sir.
Not that we haven't been doing the show.
Yes, sir.
We both watched a documentary called 6 Days to Air, and actually you can watch it on Netflix streaming.
Yep.
It's available now if you're a Netflix member, and it's basically about the 6 days it takes the South Park team to write, create, produce, and then release to the airwaves a episode of South Park. And South Park, I'm sure you've heard of it, is the kind of like it's not a cartoon really. It's like I don't really know what to call it now because it's
an animated show.
It's an animated show. Thank you.
Yeah.
On Comedy Central, it's in its 12th season, I believe.
Known for its
Crassness
edgy and
vulgar jokes.
well, more like what do you call it? Like a reflection of like what's going on today, like in media and news and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that.
and very usually sharp-witted and made by Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
So are you a fan of South Park?
I am actually not a fan of South Park.
Oh, you're not?
So I thought it'd be interesting to hear our different opinions because I have tried to watch South Park. Like I people quote it all the time. My brother always quotes it. Sometimes you quote it. I've got other friends who watch it who always like, hey, remember that South Park when?
Yeah.
Which just goes to show how, how relevant their shows are to like things that happen in our culture.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to watch it, but I just I've never watched an episode of South Park and laughed a
Really?
lot. No, maybe I haven't really seen maybe I really haven't seen one that's funny yet, but also Cartman, one of the characters of the show, I just think is annoying.
Really?
Like his voice annoys me, his personality annoys me, like everything about him annoys me, and he's like one of the major comedic personalities on the show, and I just can't stand him. Like I just think he's annoying. So every time I try to watch a show, I end up just getting bored, and I'm like, I get why people would like this. I do get that, but to me, it's not entertaining. But I know you really like it.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge South Park fan. Like I've been
Wow.
a fan for a really long time. I mean, I think it was out for like a year, and then they really started saturating the market with like videotapes and like toys and all this kind of stuff after the first year it was out. And then I happened upon it on video. And then I got really into it and got really in. Oh, and then I was working at a Target store, and this guy gave me all of the episodes, or maybe we got it on eBay. We got like a bunch of the episodes on CD-ROM, and we could watch them on Real Player. So we watched like seasons
Real Player, wow.
So we watched seasons 1 through 4 and got really into it, me and my brother. And then we got really into Trey Parker and Matt Stone's work. Like they've done a lot of other things like movies.
I didn't know that.
And they have this play out, The Book of Mormon, which is coming to Seattle, which I'm really excited to see.
Actually, are you going to go see it?
Yeah, we should go see it.
Oh, dude, I have wanted to see that. I've heard great things about it.
We should see it as a group. That'd be fun.
I wonder if there's tickets still left. We should check.
I just heard about it, so I think maybe we might be safe.
See, because I saw a billboard for 3 weeks ago.
Well, then you should try to look up tickets.
And I know it's been sold out on Broadway, ever since it opened.
Yeah.
So, in any case.
So yeah, I mean, I've followed them very closely for a long time. If there was any famous person I would want to meet, it'd be them. They're like, I really admire them, and I think that Trey Parker's like just brilliant. Like, so I was really excited when I heard about this because they have done another one. They did another one called The Making of South Park, and they did that in their first year of South Park. But it's a little kind of tongue-in-cheek. They don't show very much real behind the scenes. It's not like following day to day. But this one's really interesting because they bring a camera crew in to kind of stealth film them for a full week or full 6 days where they're doing the production of South Park.
And it's like a season opening episode.
Yeah, so they've been off, you know, they've been on break. They've been doing Book of Mormon. They've been focusing all their attention on that, and then they're coming back to work. And it's really cool because it's like. It's very like behind the scenes. It doesn't feel like a stupid like reality TV show, you know.
No,
it doesn't have like dumb, it doesn't have dumb moments where you feel like, oh, the producer told them to like do that.
It's definitely not scripted in any way. Like they just film what's going on.
Yeah, and so they take you into the writers' room where they're actually coming up like bouncing ideas off each other. Bill Hader's in there.
Yeah, Bill Hader from SNL fame is there.
And
he does is laugh the entire show. That's like, and he gets paid to do this. He just laughs. He's just like, you know, doing that laugh whenever they come up with a good joke. He contributes a few things, and then other than that, he probably got paid $100,000. I'm like, dude, how do you get that job?
Well, dude, that's a movie. You don't know what he actually did.
Oh, dude, I'm sure that's an accurate portrayal of his life.
But, so South Park, a lot of people don't know this, or I should say compared to any other animated show. Other anime shows like The Simpsons, Family Guy, they do, what their work is besides writing it, as far as animation goes, they do what's called keyframes. So the animators actually just draw like, let's say Bart's here, and then he does this movie, now he's here, and now he's here. And then they submit those keyframes, they send those to Korea. Korean animators actually draw all the other stuff in between.
Really?
So that whole process takes about 3 to 6 months, I think, for one episode to get fully made.
Wow.
And that's not including all of the audio that goes into it, all the voices, everything like that. And those have huge teams, right? South Park does have a really big team, and they show this in the movie.
They got a really cool Asian guy with bangs.
Yeah.
Long hair and bangs. Like, it's cool.
And but they do everything in house, which is like the only primetime animated show that does everything in house. Maybe there might be some like Adult Swim shows that do that now because they're made on computer. But South Park is unique because it can be like the creators still write it, you know, like Matt Groening from The Simpsons did not do crap on The Simpsons.
You don't think so?
No. He probably just takes in the money, dude. Like, really?
Smoking the reefer and...
He might, but he doesn't write every episode like they do.
Yeah.
Right? So they write the episodes in-house, then they animate them in-house on computer, and then, you know, everything is done in-house. So I don't know. That's kind of like a background. But anyway, what did you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I mean, even as somebody who doesn't like South Park, like, it was really fascinating to see how the team works. And the fact that they put out an episode in 6 days, I mean, I have no context for how amazing that is, but it just seems amazing to put out an entire show and deliver it hours before it's supposed to air to Comedy Central. It's like Comedy Central is just waiting for this episode that they've been advertising for who knows weeks.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what's going to be on it. They're just waiting for it to be delivered.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because at the very end, to kind of skip ahead for a moment, they just deliver this tape to this satellite station that starts sending it out to all these different broadcasters all over the U.S. literally hours before it's going to air.
Right.
Talk about, dude, procrastination. I think, honestly, the one of the best parts about this for me is the fact that I think that this behind-the-scenes look just shows what it's like to be a creative procrastinator. It's like you push things off. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. And then within 6 days before it's due, you're like, crap. You're sweating, dude. You're like, we have got to get this thing done. It's not going to be perfect. We're just going to put it out. We're going to get it done and put it out. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially what they do. I mean, Trey he's kind of like the lead on the South Park team, which I didn't know. I thought Matt and Trey kind of work together on these things, but Trey really is like the director. He comes up with a lot of the ideas, besides doing voices and stuff. And so they pull out their hair coming out with these ideas on what they're going to do. They're pacing around these rooms. They stay up sometimes all night working on these things. And their team sometimes have to be there all night with them, and they're animating and reanimating, and then they have their producer calling in to like this like standards and practice like I don't even know what they are.
The censorship board.
They censorship people to make sure they can get away with certain things. And then she's like this very docile, like normal woman, and she's like, yes. No, they want to have them pooping into each other's mouths. No, okay, so you can't see the poop, but if their faces are sewed to the butts, that's okay. And she's like going through these ridiculous plot like pieces that are gonna happen. And then at the very end of one of her conversations, she's like, okay, so they're gonna crap into each other's mouths. Okay, yes, happy Easter to you too. It's just such a strange juxtaposition of how they build these shows. And then I think the last thing for me, which I thought was fascinating, was just the creative process. I mean, you can call Trey Parker a genius. That may be true, but I think he's an incredibly hard worker, and I think that's really where his genius lies. And Matt Stone, the same. I mean, they're just such hard workers. I mean, they just stick to it and stick to it and stick to it, and they're willing to work all night to get something done. And then the last thing I wanted to say is I think it was really interesting that Matt and Trey both knew their roles in their partnership very well. Like it was interesting because Matt was doing an interview and he was saying like, hey, look, like I'm not the head of this boat. Like I have a role to play, but Trey is the role, and I'm not built to do that role. And that was it's a very mature way of looking at their partnership. It's like because sometimes people just want to be in power no matter what, whether or not they're good at that position. And
that's why that balance works so well.
Yeah, that's why it works so well.
It's worked well for, more than 10 something years?
12 years, yeah. So anyway, that's what I thought. I definitely recommend it, especially because it's on Netflix and it's free to watch. But you tell me what you think. I know I kind of heard some of it already.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It was nice to be, I mean, like I said, I'm a huge South Park fan, so like, a lot of this stuff, I'm just a huge nerd too, so I knew a lot of this stuff. You know, I listened to their audio commentaries and stuff, so I know. I know a lot of this stuff that actually happens behind the scenes. But it was cool to be able to see things like I've always been fascinated by the lip sync, the freaking like attention to detail with the lip sync in South Park, because they have all these different mouths that they use for creating all the syllables of every
I didn't know that.
And how they're able to do that like so meticulous, and there's like a guy going back and forth that's like it's like somebody talking. It's like, hi, my name is Leslie, and he's like, ha 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 ha, like he's going through each and every like frame to get that mouth to match and everything. So like that's crazy, right? And then the way that Trey was directing in the audio booth was really interesting to me too. Like he goes into character and he's just doing the voices, and then they're just like cracking up, and it just seems like they have a lot of fun doing that part of the show. And then what do you call it? Then like I think Matt was saying something like just saying a line, and then Trey's like, no, say it like this, and it was only like a tiny bit different, but you can tell like this perfectionist wants it to be like just like this, like how I envisioned it, how I wrote it. And I don't know, I just think that they really make, I don't know if you can say that they procrastinate to become into that role. I think that they kind of want to work in that pressure cooker of a time period, because I guess they could take a long time, but they said that they kind of fell into that. It wasn't like they just wanted one day wake up and start doing episodes 6 days total. They just it became 1 week after another. They would get down to like.
Dude, I honestly think it's just such a painful process for them. Like it's fun, but it's painful, right? Because you're gonna go into it and you're gonna exert all your energy, and it's gonna be really difficult, and you're gonna have to like fight and struggle to get this thing finished. And at the end, Trey said every episode, it doesn't without fail. He's like we run out of time, and I really wish I could use more time. And I think it's the most terrible thing that we've ever done, but we're out of time and we have to release it. And I identify with that feeling. Like sometimes with the Cult Cast, we put out an episode and I spend all this time like, You know, like maybe scheduling guests or coming up with topics or creating conversations that we could have. And then, you know, we do the episode and I'm just like, this is the worst episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
You know, and then it comes out and people love it. Or I listen to it and I'm like, oh wow, that actually wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like it's that struggle to always put out something that is as good as you possibly can, and it never meets your expectations.
Because you're always your worst critic, right?
Yeah.
Or harshest critic, I should say.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what else was really cool. It was interesting to see the storyboards phase of it. You know, where they were actually just drawn. If you follow South Park on Facebook, they do a really good job of showing like storyboards and like what's this from, you know, and then all the fans like write in, you know, what episode it's from, because sometimes it's hard to tell just because they're so like crude drawings of like each thing, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually.
But what else was I gonna say? I don't know. Overall, I think, you know, if you like South Park, even if you don't, if you just like behind the scenes of how things get created, I've always loved that stuff. Like sometimes I'll Google or I'll YouTube search the making of like insert Disney movie here, and I love that stuff. It's so interesting to me to see like this whole how it evolves from like, you know, the storyboard phase or even just like the idea phase to like a finished product. It's really cool.
Yeah, as creators, right? It's like I love the idea of struggling through something and putting something out that wasn't there before.
Right.
And that this documentary illustrates that better than almost any documentary I've seen. It's like, here is the struggle and the fight to be creative and put out a product that's good. And it's hard. And it's fun, but it sucks. It's like...
It's just like anything else too. Like once you know kind of the behind the scenes, it kind of adds value to the actual finished product too. You know?
That's true.
In some ways, some people don't like that because they don't like to see the wizard behind the curtain.
Well, that actually, I was just gonna say that to kind of wrap up what I was thinking. Like, I would never watch this for Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
You don't like director's commentary?
No, I don't like hearing about that stuff at all, especially in fantasy stuff particularly, because I'm immersed in the story. And like when I see the dragon or something in one of these shows, I don't want to see the guy who's like, and I'm the CG guy. Here's how I created it. And it's just a puppet on thread.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to see that stuff because it's going to pull me out of the story.
I guess, yeah.
But with South Park, especially because I don't watch it, and even if I did, it's like I know it's animated. It's like I like to see that creative process because it doesn't ruin it for me. So... But yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to see... I don't even like the behind the stuff for Star Wars, really. But anyway.
I've always been like a big behind-the-scenes nerd. So like, I guess to me, I identify with that. So when this past month doing those videos, I can tell people like that part of it too. Because, you know, like I looked back on day 6 and I was just getting the dolls. And I'm like, look how much I've done in that span of time. Like people dig that, and I'm the same way, you know. Like I like seeing kind of like the process, I guess, you know.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like watching some of that stuff too, especially for your favorite shows. I thought about doing something like it for the Cult Cast. Maybe eventually I will. Yeah. But then you think like, well, what would I talk about? Because like I do the same thing every show, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of that stuff people would actually want to see.
There's always people that like that kind of like, here's where I work. This is like how we put together an episode. You know, like even just something short and sweet. Like people like that kind of stuff. I do.
All right, so are you going to keep going at the end of August, or are you going to stop?
Maybe I'll do like once a week or something.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, but not every day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on. You know we like talking about Kickstarter here.
Oh,
and you know we love talking about Instagram.
Oh, boy.
And if you've seen any of our previous episodes, we often talk about both in one product. So we found another great Instagram product called the InstaCube. Now, should I start this video? I have no idea how long it is. Neither of us have seen this.
Hey Instagrammers, my name's John, and this is InstaCube. InstaCube is essentially a living canvas of Instagrams. The large format touchscreen display, seamless Wi-Fi streaming, and tactile buttons means that with InstaCube, you're seeing and interacting with your photo stream like never before. It pushes content from your Instagram feed directly to this beautiful display and surprises you constantly throughout the day with new photos that are coming directly from your peers, directly from the people you follow, from the people you love. And it does all of this wirelessly. InstaCube is fed from the cloud, so you can tell it to display custom content by sending a hashtag of, say, San Francisco. Currently, our Instagrams are tracked on our mobile devices. Since this is a real-time feed, photos get pushed to the cube as they happen. So when a new photo is uploaded by one of your friends or your loved ones, it gets pushed and takes the place of the photo that was there previously. There are so many ways you can use InstaCube. Let's say you're at work. You don't have to open your browser. You don't have to go to your mobile phone. These images come to you. In a public space, multiple users can stream photos to a single cube using hashtags. Let's say you're having a party with your friends. That cube becomes the display for the party when people start pushing photos to it. This is all coming from Instagram, so it works exactly the same way. If you give it as a gift, you can send photos directly to that person's cube. Someone's going away or going overseas.
Damn, it's 3 minutes long.
You know they're going to miss you.
Are we done?
Yeah, let's stop it.
Throughout the day.
I can't see the pause.
What would be really cool is if...
So, gosh, dude, yeah, we were only halfway through that video.
That was a lot of info.
That was a lot of info. So, when I told you about this, rolled your eyes.
Oh my god.
In true I hate Instagram products fashion. It's obviously not that stupid Instagram camera we saw.
That we'll never see. We'll never
actually see besides Photoshop. I actually thought this was really cool.
Well, okay.
This seems, out of all the products we've seen that are Instagram based, this actually seems the most useful and the most feasible to me.
Let's start with this. I love Instagram.
Yeah.
I use it all the time. I love the app. That's just number one. Just in case you think, oh, I think Instagram's for hipsters. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I like Instagram. And then, I don't know, this thing, the video did a little bit better at convincing me that this was a little bit cooler than I thought it was.
Yeah.
One thing, maybe this is just set design. It looks like maybe they actually made a couple of these.
Yeah.
So that's good. You know, it's not just some stupid Photoshop thing that we've seen a zillion times on, you know, all these fundraising websites. But, dude, I mean, come on. At the end of the day, all this is an application. This is software. Why do we need a digital picture frame? Who uses a digital picture frame? Nobody. Your grandparents might have one. My parents have one because I bought it off Woot, and they barely use it. It's just off. Like, people don't use digital picture frames. This is like the kind of dumb thing that you think you're gonna buy and you find it on Sky Mall, and you're never gonna actually use it. The functionality it can take place on like an iPad, you know?
Yeah, you could do this on an iPad, but an iPad is something that you actually use. This definitely could have been an iPad app.
I just don't see it being like you're just gonna have this dedicated thing that's, you know, whatever, running off electricity, just plugged in so it scrolls through your stuff. I feel like we have a lot of screens in our house already. You could do that as a screensaver on your TV. You know, I don't think
it'd be as easy though. I mean, I think the
Why?
big thing about this is that it's, I mean, the aspect ratio is square, so it's meant just for Instagram photos, right?
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is unique of any screen that you have. Mm-hmm. But more than anything else, like this, the way it's been described, I mean, it pretty much manages itself. It pulls your own Instagram photos. Mm-hmm. So it's constantly showing you content that you've created, which I think is really cool. And then also the guy said you can use hashtags to make it pull content that you didn't even take photos of. It's just content that it's out there on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And it's Android based, so you know it's actually feasible that this is going to get made. Like, I think $100 is kind of a lot of money for this. That looks like that's about how much they're going to be asking for. Mm-hmm. 11 people have pledged $10. They don't even get anything for it. All they do is give them $10. But okay, so they're going to be charging $100 for this thing. Oh, and then that's actually the introductory price.
Do you get one at that price?
I think you do. So early adopter special, there are only 1,000 InstaCubes at this sweet price. And then they're gonna be
you scroll down.
$150, I think. $150 for this is kind of a lot.
So this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
If you go up.
Yeah.
So
I think this is awesome. I think this is a great idea. I would like one of those. This is something that you're gonna see in Urban Outfitters, I guarantee you.
You think so?
Oh, dude, this is so hipster. Like, This takes all the people love sharing and looking at photos. This takes all the photos that you've been taking with Instagram, and without any effort, as it seems, makes those available to you to look at.
I understand that. I just can't see it being like a practical thing that you would actually use more than a few times.
Well,
just like a digital picture frame sounds like a cool idea
but
too.
A digital picture frame has to be fed. Like, you have to constantly...
Not true, man. Like,
no? Where does he get his pictures from?
There's some that work off Wi-Fi.
Okay, so if you have Wi-Fi, you still have to send pictures to it, don't you?
I'm sure this can't be the very first and the only thing that has ever worked off the internet.
It's the only thing I've ever heard of.
I refuse to believe that. There's no way. There's no way. Like, you think that there's only one and only thing that actually works with just internet feeds?
That manages itself. Yes, I'm almost certain this is the only digital photo frame that runs off Android.
I'm not really big into the digital photo frame. I just think that, like, it's sort of like a gimmicky toy. Like, you'll have it around for a little while, then you'll be like, oh yeah, we bought that. We don't really turn it on anymore,
Well, why not? It just sits there and it's on. It's just doing its thing. That's the thing. It's like it's supposed to be effortless. Like, it just sits there and it's doing all the work. Like, you never have to do anything. It's just like pulling stuff from your Instagram.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're a photographer. Do you just want to see constant photos?
I would love to. Yeah. Like when him saying you can enter in hashtag San Francisco and just see pictures of San Francisco.
Yeah.
That like most of them will look like crap, but Instagram arguably makes photos better because of the filters, right?
That's the other thing. That's kind of like the hook that I think might make it better than like getting a feed from whatever, like on your Apple TV or whatever.
Yeah, true, and it solves the aspect ratio problem because, like, if you had a photo frame that was positioned horizontally, it's like the pictures that are horizontal are going to look good, but then the other ones are going to be scaled down, right? And it's like in this,
and they'll have
like
black
the pictures,
around them.
yeah, and they have black around them. They look ugly. It's like this with its constraints of the square. You're always going to see a square image, right? So I think like the frame is always going to be full of a picture, and from pictures that are anywhere, that people are taking Instagram pictures. I think this looks awesome, dude. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I want one of these for my birthday,
dude,
which is February 18th. If you want to get
donate, if you love it so much, donate.
Dude, I'm not spending $150 on this.
Well, you said you want one.
I do want one, but I also said I don't think it's worth $150.
So what is it worth to you?
I think I would pay $80 for this. I don't think I'd pay more than that.
So that if it doesn't get made, like, you're kind of responsible for saying I want that, and then you don't donate to get it.
That's fine. I am perfectly comfortable with that. I want this for $80, and if you can't make them for $80, then I don't want one bad enough.
I feel like that they probably should be cheaper. I mean, they probably and definitely are cheaper to make, mass produced, but it depends on how much volume you get.
I mean, dude, this is like buying a This is like buying a freaking monitor. You can buy, 24-inch monitors for $100. Why is this thing $150?
Yeah.
It's like...
I mean, I appreciate the design of it and everything like that. I think that it's well designed, because it obviously is a real thing. It's not just some artist rendering. I just don't feel like I would really benefit from it. Like I have a few photos in my apartment. I have a TV. Like, I don't know. I have a screensaver that shows photos and stuff, but I don't know. I just don't have that desire to have like this extra gadget that just shows pictures.
Do you browse other people's Instagram photos very often?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think it would be cool just to have those just playing in the background? It's like, oh look, there's John.
It might, but it might not be good because of that, dude. I don't want to see like pictures of girls' feet.
And there's John, his tallywhackers hanging out, sipping wine in the...
That's the thing. That's the other thing. It's just going to be kind of like... I don't know. I don't see it actually taking off as like a big mainstream product, in my opinion. But it reminds me... maybe this is worse, but it reminds me of this other... I think it was a Kickstarter. That was a printer, and it was like this little printer that printed out like thermal paper, like our little shipping printers. It was like that, but it had like a open square in the front, and it had like a happy face, and it was like, you can use this and just keep it in your home, and you can use it to like send yourself notes. Like if you need to go out to have a shopping list, it'll print it out. Or like
every note costs $1.25, right?
Yeah, and like all these little things, but it's filmed in a really clean way, and it has like nice music behind it, so it makes it feel like, if I lived in this really austere house with like one chair, it'd be awesome, and I would totally use that all the time. And I feel like some of these promotional videos really sell it in that way because they get really nice DSLR cameras to film these products in like really nice clean like apartments, or like in really nice indie coffee shops, and you're like, wow, yeah, that is really cool. But you get it home and it's not that cool,
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. I feel like this kind of goes in that category.
All right, well, when I have one and you're jealous.
When you have one that you have to buy off eBay.
Yes, seriously. So, if you're interested in buying one of these, they have 1,300 backers. Oh, dude, they're gonna get funded, no problem. They have
30 days to go.
They have 30 days to go, and they only need. They've already raised $157,000 out of $250,000 that they need.
I think the video made me think it's better than it is. As far as like, first thought was like, this is really dumb. So good job on doing the video. I just think that it's not for me. I just think that there's a lot of other things that could take the place of this, and I wouldn't want to spend $150 to do it.
I'm tweeting about this right now. We're talking about this InstaCube.
What do you guys think?
InstaCube on user friendly.
Oh, I don't like any of your
Right
Twitter
now.
followers. So.
What do you guys think? That's not true. Talking about this InstaCube on user friendly right now. What do you guys think? Perfect. All right, cool. Well, let us know what you think about InstaCube. Let's move on to our last topic of the day.
Uh-huh.
You want to talk about the big Texan himself.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh off a trip from Brokeback Mountain. It's Kevin Rose in his 10-gallon hat. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go to Kevin Rose's Twitter and look at his profile picture. It is glorious. Look at this thing, dude. What is this? What do they call these?
Boutonniere.
Boutonniere.
Let's go to his Twitter feed.
All right.
Shall we? So Kevin Rose tweeted this morning, tea with Tony Sphere.
Yeah.
And he has this link to Vine.co.
Yeah.
So he uses all the new, like, maybe, like, very unknown web apps and, new startups and everything.
New stuff, I'm sure.
Right. So this is a new startup. So I click on this on my phone.
Should I click it?
Yeah, and it loads a QuickTime video, and this is the video that you get. And it keeps looping.
What is this?
This is shot with Vine.
So do you just like record a movie and it does all this for you?
I don't know, but I think that the end result is one of the goofiest things I've ever seen.
It is very strange. It just looks so produced. Vine is the best way to share and capture video on your phone. No editing, no redditing, no post-production. We're not ready for you yet, but we soon will be.
So, if you're listening to this and not watching it, which is odd, but some people do that. It was a video that he shot going into Samovar Tea Lounge, which is like, I guess, his favorite tea place in San Francisco. And it shows a video of the outside, then it shows him opening the door with his hand.
But it's like, it doesn't start right away. It's like, his hand's there and it's like, action.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like it tells him to like, okay, now you can record. And then him showing the chair that he's going to sit in, and then him shaking hands with the guy in front of him. And I think that, like, whoever thought of this, that is the goofiest idea I've ever heard.
It says it's supposed to make it easy, and maybe that's true. But like that looked like it was edited. So unless the application does the editing itself, like who would ever do this?
What I'm guessing is the app probably tells you like a countdown. Okay, now you can record something. Oh, now you want to record another thing in the room. Now I'm going to record Airfon. Now I'm going to record myself uncrossing my leg. And it's just like, I think that's so like, I think that Social Cam and Vidi have a little bit of a cool thing to them because they're just kind of a very quick. Have you used those before?
No.
It's just like I think it's like a 10-second video or 15-second video. So if you want to do just a tiny little video update, And I'm not even that big a fan of little video updates. But I think this one that tries to be like, this is the atmosphere that I'm in. That's so weird and dumb.
It is to me too. I mean, unless you're really young and you're like really into making videos all the time, this just seems like a lot of work. Even if it's doing all the editing for you to put out, you're putting out videos every day. It's a lot of work to like even film it.
Yeah.
And have it be interesting, like.
But I don't know. Maybe it could work in other ways. Like maybe you're at a party and you want to get a bunch of videos of somebody. But his demo, the guy that's supposed to be pushing this as like a cool thing, that was the dumbest demo I've ever seen, ever.
I just like how intentional all the pieces where it's like. My hand's on the door. It's recording. Okay, I'm opening the door.
Yeah.
It's like, and then there's a guy sitting in front of me. Okay, ready? Shake hands.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he looks up and he goes,
yeah.
It's like, what? Who does that when they're freaking getting together with somebody? It's so funny.
That's another thing is like when I do videos, I do a lot of candid stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I went to the other day, I dropped off some old film reels to get transferred digitally. Mm-hmm. And I was having a conversation with a dude, and I just left the camera on his desk, and we were just talking. And I think video is interesting when you can do like this candid stuff. I think it's kind of more lame when it's like very rehearsed and stuff like that. So I feel like he should have just went and maybe just talked to people around San Francisco, not tried to say, you should use this app for these kind of continuity shots that we're doing, you know? Because that's the first thing that pops into your head is like, oh, am I going to do these like things of me going to the store, you know? It's like...
There's the milk.
Yeah.
Hand grabs the milk.
Yeah. So I think that, I don't know the practical application for this. I feel like maybe if you do more videos, you'll probably think of them, but I don't think it's very like... obvious, you know what I mean? Like when you want a new app, you want the practical use of it to be obvious to you after using it. Like Instagram, you took a photo, you applied a filter, and now all of a sudden your photo looks way cooler than it did 2 seconds ago, right? Mm-hmm. And or like there's lots of other sites that have that are like, oh, okay, I get it. But the way that they demoed that was really, really goofy.
Yeah, and you don't even know what it is. It's like, what is this? What is this, and why would I want to use this?
Yeah.
Especially because there's already so many many apps out there already. It's like there's so many apps that want you to try them and sign up for an account.
And they all have this kind of website that looks just like Instagram.
Yes. Oh my.
Go to Instagram site. So here's Vine. Wait, go. Oh, Instagram used to have that like same kind of background.
Yeah, they've been changing their UIs.
You want to go back? But this kind of stuff, you know, we see this so much. Like somebody needs to come out with something new. I don't know.
I'm surprised it's not an About.me page.
Yeah.
He's meeting with that guy from About.me.
But
anyway,
that's
definitely not as cool as the InstaCube. I'll say that much.
That's what I have to bring to the table today.
Well, dude, now that we're done with our episode, let's say I wanted to talk with you after the show. Where would I go to do such things?
206? No. That's not even my area code. So. No, you can find me on Twitter. I'm just at Roberto Hoyos, RobertoHoyos. And my website, throwboy.com, for all the geeky pillows that are the coolest pillows out there.
Yeah.
And
until I start Toss Girl.
What about you?
I'm at Airfon on Twitter, ERFON. And if you're interested in Mike Tees, it's MikeTees.com, or at Mike Tees on Twitter. That's MIGHTTEES.com. Hey, make sure to subscribe to the videos in iTunes. User-friendly, just search for it in iTunes.
We're the top search now.
Are we really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh-wee.
And you can get us on YouTube too, youtube.com/userfriendly-show. Thank you guys for watching there. I think you have a comment that's actually geared towards you. So
oh, really?
It was about the games.
Does it talk about my fully torquage?
And games.
Okay, cool. I need
games related to torquage.
Torquage games? Yeah. That needs to be a movie. Maybe not, actually. On second thought. Cool, well, that's it from us.
Yes, thank you guys for watching.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Later.